Have you ever looked at your credit card bill and wondered, how did I end up here? Or felt like no matter how careful you are, you're always playing catch up with your finances? What if I told you that in some countries, people live completely normal, even financially healthier lives without using credit cards at all? Sounds impossible in today's swipe and pay world, right? Well, today we're exploring exactly how Polish people survive and thrive without relying on credit cards. And what you're about to learn might just change how you think about money entirely. If this kind of insight resonates with you and you want to support more content that challenges the norm, consider joining the channel as a member. It helps keep this community growing and these conversations going strong. Well, let's start with the obvious question. Don't Polish people need credit cards for everyday life like everyone else? The answer, surprisingly, is no. While credit cards do exist in Poland, they are not nearly as central to daily life as they are in countries like the United States, Canada, or the UK. In fact, many Poles go through their entire adult lives without ever owning one. And they're just fine. Better than fine, actually. The backbone of financial life in Poland isn't credit, it's debit. Debit cards are the go-to for most people. They're issued by all major banks and work exactly like credit cards for both in-store and online purchases. You can tap to pay, use them with mobile wallets like Google Pay or Apple Pay, and make international purchases. There's no stigma, no limitations, no real friction. And because they're tied directly to a checking account, you only spend what you actually have. That single difference, spending your own money instead of borrowing, completely shifts how people think about money. But what really sets Poland apart is a homegrown payment system called Blik. Think of it like Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and your debit card all rolled into one, but better. Blik is a mobile payment system that lets people pay in stores, online, and even withdraw money from ATMs without needing a physical card. You just use your phone and a short code generated in your banking app. It's fast, secure, and available through pretty much every major bank in Poland, and it's everywhere. From large chain stores to local coffee shops to e-commerce sites, if you live in Poland, you're using Blik. So why don't people need credit cards? Because the infrastructure makes them unnecessary. The tech is seamless, payments are instant, and most importantly, there's no need to borrow money to access convenience. Polish consumers get all the speed and efficiency of modern financial tools, but without the high interest rates and debt cycles that come with credit card use. Of course, the tech is just part of the story. There's also a deep cultural aspect at play here. In Poland, there's a strong societal preference for living within your means. People don't like debt. They avoid it when possible. Many grow up with the mindset that if you can't afford something today, you save up until you can. That might sound old-fashioned, but it's actually incredibly freeing. It means there's less pressure to maintain a lifestyle you can't afford, and fewer people falling into debt traps just to keep up appearances. This also ties into another big difference: credit scores. In countries like the US, your credit score can feel like your financial identity. It dictates your ability to rent an apartment, get a job, buy a car, or even get a cell phone plan. And one of the main ways to build that score, you guessed it, using credit cards regularly and paying them off. But in Poland, the system is different. While lenders do assess creditworthiness, there's no single all-powerful score like FICO in the US. Instead, banks look at your income, employment history, and banking behavior, not just whether you've been juggling debt successfully. So there's no pressure to use credit to build credit. People are trusted based on real financial behavior, not on how much debt they've managed. Now, you might be wondering what happens when someone in Poland does need to make a bigger purchase, let's say a new laptop or a major appliance or even a family vacation. Do they just save for years? Not necessarily. There are installment plans, called RAT, which are widely available. You'll see them offered on nearly every major e-commerce site and in electronics stores. These aren't credit cards, they're structured payment plans, usually with no or low interest, and they're based on your bank and income, not a revolving line of credit. The terms are clear. You pay a certain amount each month for a fixed time, and that's it. No ballooning interest, no hidden fees, no revolving balance. There's also a growing popularity of buy now, pay later services in Poland, much like Klarna or PayPo. These offer flexible short-term payments for online purchases and are regulated by the banks, not random fintech startups with vague terms. The key idea is that borrowing is intentional, not automatic. You choose when to finance something, and it's treated as a decision, not a habit. And let's talk about the banking system in general, because it's actually miles ahead of many Western countries in terms of digital functionality. Most Polish banks offer intuitive mobile apps that include advanced features like real-time spending summaries, budgeting tools, savings vaults, and even bill splitting. You can handle pretty much every aspect of your financial life from your phone. No waiting for paper statements, no driving to a branch to deposit a check. Everything is mobile first and built with the user in mind. That means people can keep track of their money effortlessly without needing credit cards to bridge the gap between income and expenses. Now, this doesn't mean credit cards are non-existent in Poland. Some people do use them, especially for travel, where having a credit card for car rentals, hotel deposits, or travel insurance can be helpful. Others use them for cashback or small perks. But even then, the usage is strategic, not habitual. People don't use credit cards just to get by. And that's a huge distinction. The relationship to credit is much healthier, more tool than crutch. So what can we learn from all of this? First, that modern banking doesn't have to depend on credit cards. With the right tools and infrastructure, people can enjoy full financial flexibility without going into debt. Second, that culture shapes financial behavior just as much as technology does. In a society where debt isn't glorified and financial responsibility is the norm, people make smarter money choices. And finally, that living without credit doesn't mean living without freedom. In many ways, it's the opposite. It means more freedom because your money belongs to you, not to a bank. If this video opened your eyes to a different way of thinking about money, or you just enjoyed this glimpse into life in another part of the world, I'd love for you to support the channel by joining as a member. Your membership helps me keep producing thoughtful, informative content like this, and it means a lot to be building a community that values smart financial thinking. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.